Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to another year, a new year of Malifaux. Hope you all had a cool Yule, and now it's time to heat things up with some Gaining Grounds 2017. Terrain, as I'm sure you're all familiar with, is the impassable blocking buildings, height whatever, forests, height 5 I think they are, height 1, climbable, severe, walls, and that looks pretty much it. These are the stash markers. I should know that obviously we're not too practiced with the schemes, the new scheme set, so forgive any mistakes and please note them down in the comments so that I can stop making them. My opponent's set up first and he's trying out his new Parker crew. And it's been a few days since I played this, so I'm blanking a bit on the blobs of white. I think that's a Bandito, I think that's a Wukao Raider, McTavish, a post-op female Parker Barrows. And I'll admit I wasn't on best form tonight. I forgot all my model cards and forgot to take pictures of my opponent's cards, so I'm going to make this up. I reckon he had Coordinated Heist, Crate of Dynamite, and Survivalist. Then we've got the washed up Doc Mitchell, a free course specialist with Return Fire, Dead Outlaw, and another Bandito. Welcome to Puppet Town. Population awesome. I've got a Marionette, an Illuminated, another Illuminated, backed by the Black Blood Shaman. Because I'm super keen to try out his new incarnation. The Doppelganger with 1,000 Faces, Kalodi with Strum the Threads, and Fated, a Brutal Effigy, Beckner, because never leave home without a Beckner, and a Marionette. So what's my plan? Well, why did I take the models I have? Well, the Black Blood Shaman is going to give Black Blood to the Illuminated, who are awesome with it. But they're doubly awesome when you can use Black Blood Pustule on them, which you can now thanks to the new errata. So the Illuminated are going to run forward and be my anvil, and anything that comes near them is going to get Black Blood Pustuled from the Shaman, Kalodi using my will on the Shaman, and Doppelganger copying the Shaman. And they'll stay in the fight by using their healing. Additionally, Brutal Effigy is going to give Kalodi Fear Not the Sword, which will bubble out to all minions, which is pretty much everybody but the Doppelganger. So more healing for the Black Blooding. Super important key other model is the Beckoner. Literally an auto-include in a Kalodi list, I am convinced. In this crew she's quite nice because she can pull people into the Black Blood range should they be devious and try to stay out of 1 inch. Takes a bit of careful setup that, just watching out for the ranges. Wouldn't want to pull them out of Black Blood range. And she can use her Despicable Promises to give enemies Brilliance, which can make the Illuminated go to minimum damage 4, and then Kalodi can spam those attacks. Her main purpose, however, is to assist me in deleting an enemy model in the first turn. Basically, anything that steps 1 inch out of its deployment zone is going to be beckoned or lured towards me, as the beckoner will walk up, lure, and then push back. In this game I've reduced that range a bit by putting her in the forest, but I wanted the cover. Then subsequently, Kalodi has access to 4 more lures with positive flips, which means there's a very good chance that whatever model I want is going to be around here, and going to get murderized by the rest of the crew. So that's turn 1 pretty much. Lure something in and kill it, and then maybe drop some markers around for turn 2 onwards, digging the graves. This body of puppets is just going to push up and try to take this marker. And what I'm doing here by putting this single Marionette out on the flank is a little bit risky, but I'm asking my opponent a question. How many resources are you going to spend coming over here to claim this stash marker and kill my Marionette? Whatever comes over here isn't going to be over here, where the full weight of the rest of my crew will land. Given that the Marionette is probably the best 3 soulstone model in the game, forcing my opponent to split their forces in that way should hopefully give me the advantage over here, so I can completely control it and then sweep across to control this one in the later game. Bit risky, but hopefully by the time the Marionette inevitably dies, I'll be able to shoot someone else across or even just resummon it and keep scoring. So that's my plan for the strategy. Marionette, Effigy, Beckoner, Doppelganger drop markers for dig the graves, whilst Illuminated, Kalodi and the Shaman do some killing. Doppelganger can join in as well if she feels like it. That'll get me dig their graves. And someone's going to tag Parker for tail him every turn. Given Kalodi can transfer his AP for both applying the condition and keeping him in line of sight, I reckon that won't be too hard. Turn 1. All the bandits make an early move forward thanks to Parker's upgrade, and then this bandit moves up to the stash marker. I sling out this Marionette, perhaps a bit early, but I didn't see much ranged threats coming its way. And I didn't really want to move this one out, otherwise it would have got shot by a whole lot more. And basically I'm waiting for something juicy to come within lure range. And McTavish obliges by activating early. Kalodi super hates McTavish. Go back and watch my game against Insidiously Mad, I think it's the two Kalodis, where he totally wrecked me. It would be a massive swing if I could get rid of him turn 1. In all honesty, I really should go for something else, given McTavish's amazing Swamp is Our Home aura, but high risk, high reward, and I get lucky and the Beckner snags him. The Brutal goes, gives everyone Fear Not the Sword, that is such a good ability, and then Kalodi goes. Plus flips the lure, give McTavish the finger, and he ends up right in my face. And we start to chew. One of my early activations was the Blackblood Shaman, so a double illuminated Blackblood charge. Starts to soak up some soulstones and wear down the Crocodile Wrangler. The Doppelganger's copying the Blackblood Shaman and then targeting this one with Blackblood Pustule. For a little bit more damage, it wasn't spectacular, but every little counts. The rest of the bandits are just moving up and dropping scheme markers. I'm a little bit worried, as it suddenly occurs to me I'm a little bit bunched up here and there's a blaster coming in my way. But McTavish is in a lot of trouble. I forced Parker to commit up to the centre to try to give McTavish some support, and that means bringing the guns closer to me so I don't have to worry about getting shot too much. This Marionette's run up here to be prepared to drop a scheme marker before I kill McTavish next turn. Turn 2, that hand will do nicely. I seem to be missing a card. Oh, that's because I think I cheated initiative with the Doppelganger. Brutal goes, gives everyone the Fear Not Sword goodness, walks up to here and drops a scheme marker. Kalodi accomplices. Forgot to mention that he made this illuminated his personal puppet in the first turn. He makes the Beckoner use Despicable Promises on McTavish a couple of times until he's brilliant, and then pushes over here and pulls the strings, giving him the Idle Hands trigger. Parker leaps into the fray, tells McTavish to get his head down, and shoots into this combat, spectacularly missing everybody. Ooh, that wasn't good. I was a bit surprised he didn't use this scheme marker to blow up and basically make me take 13 walk jewels or 4 damage on pretty much everyone. But it seems he has other plans for that marker, and I think flips it to become one of his own. Fistful of Scrip is super annoying. This Marionette goes fast from Kalodi, drops a scheme marker, I think over here, runs around and then tails Parker. I think the Specialist tries to blast on the Shaman, but can't, that was unlucky, failed that. Crab Hands charges and kills the Doctor, scoring Dig the Graves. I end up traffic jamming a bit. Basically, I don't want to be left just with Crab Hands here in case something happens. Something could happen. So I've got the Beckoner to lure the Doppelganger up and just tie down Miss Barrows. The Marionette in a dress survives whatever horrible things the Bandito was trying to do to her. Honestly, these things are just boss. She is on 1 wound remaining, however, and she scrabbles back, does I think 1 damage here, and just walks around because these things have got 2-inch engagement to be within scoring of the marker. And out of line of sight, the Wuko Raider, who can only just run around over here. Really lucky that in hindsight I shouldn't have moved the Marionette up so far. I could just hold it back and make it run in at the end of this turn. But sometimes gambles pay off, and this is how we end things. I think the Doppelganger's hopped up over the wall and mimicked Crab Hands' shooting attack so he can shoot the Specialist, which I can't even remember if it hit or not. But it was a pretty dumb move. I should have just walked up to engage both these guys. So it's not great positioning, but it'll do. At least McTavish is down. We both score for Guard the Stash, and I get Dig Your Graves. Turn 3, I've held on to the Red Joker because I didn't end up needing it last turn. I lose the initiative this time, and Parker ends the Beckoner. But by this point she's done her job, to be honest. And then Miss Barrows scoots off over here to the other stash marker, but can't get out of my line of sight, so I score. Can't really remember the order of what happened here, but I think my Crab Hands Illuminated killed the Bandito, who's dropped a scheme marker. Dead Outlaw then finishes off Crab Hands, and then gets counter-charged by the other Illuminated. I realise I fucked up with the Marionette. There's no reason why it couldn't have dropped a scheme marker before the Crab Hands killed the Bandito, but never mind. Doppelganger gets stuck in with the Specialist, and neither one of them do really anything to each other. My Marionette succumbs to the Bandito, cry. And the Brutal Effigy's got himself charged by the Wuko Raider. I've belatedly moved the Marionette up and plonked down a scheme marker here. Consider using the Blackblood Pustule on the Illuminated just to wear down the Outlaw, but I don't have any 7s in hand anymore, so I don't feel it's worth it. One of the Banditos at some point I think did a severe damage on the, or maybe a Red Joker on the shaman, so he's on 1 wound left, so he just hops across and stands in between both these guys and says, fuck it, kill me if you can. Oh, I think someone dropped a scheme marker which the Wu Kao moved over here, because you can place a scheme marker within 6 inches, and that is like their best ability. I think that's amazing. As you can see, Kalodi's legged his butt up over here. I think I put Personal Puppet on the Shaman and then hand out some slow and idle hands to get some health back, because I've run him pretty low at this point, and I think actually I didn't do very much damage, so I'm in a highly precarious position. But I do use the Red Joker to summon a Marionette, which allows me to score this turn. For Guard the Stash, my opponent scores as well, and he picks up 2 markers for Claim Jump, and he had to remove the other one that was here as well. I probably forgot to mention that the Brutal Effigy, the reason why he's up here is because he tailed Parker. So we've got that to look forward to next turn. Turn 4, Soulstoning liberally now. Doppelganger hands me the initiative, good girl, and Brutal and Kalodi do their combo. My Personal Puppet is now the Marionette, Kalodi kills the Bandido, and then my biddings, the Wu Kao over here, and gets idle hands on it to basically take it out of this turn. Parker kills the Shaman, but it wastes enough of his cards and AP to stop him from really doing anything else. And I score Tail him again, and I reapply it with the Marionette. The Wu Kao Raider pretty much goes nowhere, and despite my efforts I just can't kill either of his guys here. Very upsetting. I actually failed the Mimic with the Doppelganger and ended up beating on the Survivalist or Specialist with her fists. Yeah, that is hardcore. So in the end we both score for the Stash, because Parker is just in by the hairs of her fashionable cape. And we're going to turn 5. I get the initiative and do the Brutal Kalodi trick, and absolutely, completely, totally fluff my attacks against the Wu Kao Raider, leaving me in super trouble. The Wu Kao charges and Kalodi escapes from the first attack, running away home. Parker kills my Personal Puppet, but can't bring down Kalodi. The Illuminated kills the Outlaw, scoring me Dig Their Graves. The Marionette's pushed itself out, dragged along itself out of combat with the Specialist, run around here and made sure I can block this scheme marker, because at some point he must have killed something with Parker and dropped a scheme marker over here. Specialist tries to escape and go after the puppet, but the Doppelganger holds him back, and once more fails to kill the asshole. So there we go, guys and girls, that is the end of the game. The Outcast scores 4 points for Guard the Stash, 1 point for Claim Jump, and no points for Dig Their Graves. The Neverborn scored 4 points for Guard the Stash, 3 points for Talem, and 2 points for Dig the Graves, making this game 9-5 to Kalodi. Fun game to start the new year, and it's good to get an introduction to those new schemes. I quite like them. Talem is really quite tricky to stop. In Guard the Stash it should be more easy, and I suspect models with big bases are going to be quite important. Dig Their Graves is also quite, well, very achievable with the right setup. Didn't feel I played this game particularly well, as my positioning was a bit all over the place, and Kalodi got very risky. But played a bit better. I think he can certainly be really strong with these new schemes. Going to be Year of the Puppet, I think. But the main thing I was looking for was how the Shaman does, and I like it. With the support of the Beckoner, Illuminated, and Doppelganger, it's really quite scary. But for a first outing, I certainly wasn't over the top, as I know some people have feared. And I think what it comes down to is just that the 7 is a decent card. And yes, I can get a lot of pustule actions out, but I need those 7s, which can be quite a drain on the hand. And certainly once the game starts to get going, the models like Kalodi and the Doppelganger, who can ramp up those casts, tend to have more important things to be doing with their AP. But with a bit of practice I certainly think it will be strong. Anyway, there's the game. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.